things up a little. I'm impressed.
Welcome back to the Tidy Arm Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the MMC RMX-07A 06A remix version of Riot and Furor. And this is Rumble and Frenzy. This is basically just an excuse to put them out again as toy versions, toy decos. We're going to take a look at this. We are going to compare it to vintage. We're going to compare it to the original versions and, of course, some other stuff. But I did get this at Shozy Store. Now I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours also. Please put TH in to support your reviewer to help the channel out. And without further ado, let's get into Furor and Riot coming up. All right, here's the box, the packaging, and it's different. The last ones that I got were in a brown box, so actually going out of the way to make it look sort of G1-esque and showing the transformation like they usually do. Pretty nice. So these are the toy version. You do get tech specs. Probably why they went out of the way to do this. But, you know, the original ones came in sort of a blister card. And you get sort of that look with the plastic on the inside. All of this going on right here. See, when it opens up, it looks like, if I can get it all on camera, like it did sort of with the blister card. All right, here they are right out of the box. You get a couple of accessories here. We won't be using these until we get to bot mode, which I think they look similar to the last ones I included. We have rumbler parts here for both of them, but I do have a problem here. So they named this one Riot and this one Furor, and I usually call this one Furor and this one Riot. I know they got it wrong on the box, but in the show, they call this guy Furor, and they call that one Riot. So this one's always going to be Furor to me, and that one's always going to be Riot, and if you know, you know. All right, if you aren't paying attention or picking up on it, I'm just joking about the whole Rumble and Frenzy thing, but they did name these correctly for MMC. So taking these out of this holder, they're in there tight. Probably too tight. And it's got this here, kind of like back in the day when you had cassettes, but this shows the transformation, sort of, and how to use all this. Is the instructions. Really clever way to do it, and the card is in the mix there too. Probably don't want to lose any of that stuff. Those were certainly in there tight like whatever you want to fill in the blank with. Let's look at these cassettes, and these do not exactly look like cassettes for the fact that you just don't see some of the things on there that you would have seen that they put stickers on for the G1 figures, so they look more like cassettes. But they do have the shape and form factor. So this one here looks pretty much all black. This one looks all blue for the most part, with a couple of just different parts from the bot mode shining through. I do believe that 90% of this is the bot mode. The alt mode it's nice that they've done it like this. But really, what are you going to do with it other than just let it sit on the shelf? And it's a mode most people probably aren't going to go to. For comparison, I do have a Spiral Zone cassette because I have a bunch of those laying around. I do want to say I also have a Bill and Ted's one. It's harder to get to though, so I don't need to pull that one out. Never mind, I am that guy and I'm going to do it. And so I keep it in here because it has a play feature gimmick. That still works. There's the Wild Stallions and their cassette, so you can kind of see more closer to the color in there. And then these probably won't fit. I mean, it's probably not going to fit into there, really. I mean, you could probably cram it in there if you want to. And then, coincidentally, a real cassette, would it fit into here? Fits in perfect. A little bit loose. Actually, a little bit loose in there, but fits in fine. Comparison to a vintage cassette. Mine doesn't want to stay all the way closed, so I'm holding it closed, but there it is. We'll see it again. We'll see the vintage cassette again when we get to the robot mode, but micro cassette versus full cassette. All right, for transformation, I didn't even record it. I had the first leg done, and I didn't record it. Anyway, you untab the leg, same thing I just did right there. That kind of sucks. And then we are going to fold this over, and one of the things I said that I didn't record, you want this hip flap stuff in the front. That's the rear, so we're looking at the front. Now that we've got that, both of them down, we can fold these hip flaps down. And we're going to open this up, and then we're going to fold these to the back. And then we're going to open this, and then we're going to close this up. They kind of double hinge. We can extend the knee, and then it's on a slider to slide in. And as you slide it in, you want to clip them together behind the front part here, and you want to make sure that this is formed to where it's all the way together. And you got that leg part for the most part. I will have to probably clean that up a little bit later on. Then you flip the foot around to where you have the heel and the toe. So split the heel and the toe. The toe is just going to fold up on a double joint, which start folding it right here. Let's go with this the way I did it the other way. Tight. That is tight. The other one definitely wasn't this hard. And then the heel just kind of folds up into itself, into this groove right there. That whole leg was tighter than the other one. Then we come up here and the guns are stored here. And as we pull the arms out, we're going to have exposure to the guns, which you might want to pull out on these tabs that hold it in place. And you can get your gun out, pull out on this to get the arms out. And with the arms out, we fold this down on each side. And then you can bring this up. There's a tab that notches in to a slot for the shoulder. So bring that up. Notch it in. Then you can fold these pieces down into place, front and back, and then flip the head around. Nice that they got a little notch out for the head in the alt mode. Now we need to work on these arms. So we're going to bring the arm down. We're going to double move it down, but this is the back of the arm. And then we're going to fold this piece to be like a gap filler, have the arm. And then it's a little tricky, but you got to like grab onto that to extend the hand. It's not the easiest part of the transformation. Then the same thing on the other side. And then I think we're done, but we do need to transform these guns. You open them all up, and then you want to put it with the wing to the outside. And this is real tight also. You plug it into there, so it's kind of like a rectangle into a rectangle, and it is tight, and you got to get in there just right, and then it slides right in. Once you get the tip in, then the rest of it slides in really smooth like butter. So let's see about it, but just gotta line it up just right. And there it goes. And we're there. We are there. Let me tighten up a few things, see if I can get a little bit closer, and then we'll take a look at it. All right, so here they are in their bot modes, which is the mode that I care about the most. And I think that they've done a good job on it. I think they did a good job the first time. This is more or less a good excuse to put them back out again, but do they look even better in this form? Well, we'll do a comparison to the originals, and I know they've put these out a few times now, but coming up with a good excuse, calling it toy, I think it was a good excuse. So let's take a look, since we've kind of looked at this guy enough, transforming it. Let's look over here at the Frenzy. Now, he is pretty good looking overall. Looking at his face, that's a pretty good representation of his face. And, I mean, really, there's not many accessories, but there's the other faces they have. They don't look much different. Really can't tell, like maybe a smirk versus a stoic face. And then paintwork on right here. So the paint is the gold. The rest of it's flat, and we're going to see that in comparison, the difference that paint makes in a cassette figure. But still, size, scale, and just being able to handle it like this feels really nice, them being this size. I like this size, I like this scale. But let's get a few more things going on here. So he's got those little paint accents of gold down here, the paint on the lower leg, which is different on this one, but the other one looks more similar, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is really where a lot of the different paint apps have come into play, is into the lower legs. And then the feet, there's some die cast in there, so that is nice. And he's clean from the back. And that's pretty much all there is to this guy, with a little bit of silver accents right there on the cuffs. Let's get into articulation. We can go head side to side, up and down, shoulders out. Well, there's quite a bit of range out there, 360. There's a little more up and down with this. I guess I should do it like that. Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live? No. Saturday Night Fever. All right. Bicep swivel. Double joint, sort of. Well, I mean, of course it's double jointed for the transformation. But it's kind of long forearm syndrome. His hands open. What people like to call typewriter fingers. And then you can put this gun in there. We'll do that probably here in a little bit. But anyway, moving on to the waist swivel. A nice ab crunch that holds really well through friction. You can pop these flaps up. Goes out here to the side. Friction forward and back. And thigh swivel, which is good. Got the knee. Let's see how much range we can get out of that knee. Nope, that's all you get. The 90. An exact 90. And then the foot, you get some side to side. It's sort of ball jointed, so you just kind of get the ball jointed stuff going on with that. Now for accessories, we do have these pile drivers. Now one thing is that part of the transformation is that you have this double jointed elbow thing going on here, and you want to extend it out like so. Which, by the way, that doesn't really look bad for that elbow, but get it over here. And then we are going to bring this in, and it's going to slide in. But you want to put the batteries in right here, and positive on the opposite side of the spring. LR44s. I got like 100 of these for 10 or 12 bucks at Amazon. So I might have said that wrong. This is the proper orientation. The spring is over here. And there we go. That's how it should look inside there to get it to work. And fold this up. And you're going to flip the arm around like this to slide it in. Like so. And then down, close it up, and then turn it on. Quite an effect. I would not, you really don't want them to come in contact with anything. Let's turn them off. You really don't want them to come in contact with anything. It's a nice effect. It's kind of fun. But it's one of those things that loses its charm after 5 minutes. But you might want to come back like every once in a while and just turn it on for fun. But anyhow, I think it's a nice addition to the figure, and yeah, it works. The next accessory, aside from putting the laser guns from the back to their hand, that's an accessory. This is just like a stand, and it doesn't look much different than the other old stand. It just looks like it's got more line work for the most part. There's more paint or line work, but mine might just be older and worn. But yeah, that's it for the accessories for the most part. So I really feel like this is the most important comparison, is the first versions versus the toy versions. Now, I did get mine at separate times. I thought when they came out, they were $75 each. That was too much for me at the time. And then eventually I ended up picking up reissues and stuff. So anyhow, starting with the Frenzy Frenzy's much darker in the blues, and the purples are much, much darker on the toy version, which is the one we're looking at today. And then there's more paint apps down below, and the silver on the thighs, and the silver on the cuffs. So the toy one is definitely more interesting. There's more paint apps to it, and I do like it better. Even though I am a tune to the detriment kind of guy, I do like all of the extra look on this. And getting down to the bottom, you have silver, which is die-cast, which I believe these are still die-cast, but these are painted. And these might be painted too, but they're painted silver. And then over here on the Frenzy, the darker colors are on the first release. But you have, instead of all this red that's mixed in, it's replaced with black parts. And yeah, that's different. Now he has some red cuffs, silver cuffs there. All of that's to match the toy more closely. And yeah, I like the look of these better than these, but I do appreciate the cartoon aesthetic being nailed the first go around, or closer to nailed the first go around. So that is a thing. This is a comparison. I do want to bring in, and I'm going to do this just different because I do things a certain way, but this is the G1, so you can see where we've come from and where we are going. And then this one here is the Fans Toys. And I really want to point out with the Fans Toys how much more premium it looks. I don't even know if it's going to catch it. I don't know if you see the light just glistening off of that. I love how this Fans Toys one looks, but I do like the size and everything with the bigger ones. I really wished that this would have been painted to this level, and I would have been more than ecstatic for that. But then I do understand a lot of the way the transformation is paint shipping. And I know you guys want to see him with Soundwave, but I'm sorry. Soundwave's out on a date. He's tired of being a single dad, and Megatron is babysitting. Alright, this is my look at the MMC, Mastermind Creations Remix RMX-07A, 06A, the Riot and Furor toy versions, and I think they look magnificent. They look great. I would have liked more paint to the level of Fans Toys, but I like that there is more paint than their first releases. I like that they just came up with a good excuse to put them out again. They're good enough figures, old design, still good enough to make an offering for modern day collectors that missed it in the past. I want to pay crazy prices on eBay or anything like that. And so that's good. I am definitely good with it, and I like them. Do I like them more than the first ones? Actually, yes, I do. Partially because I spent way more time with the cassettes than watching them. I had a lot of cassettes back in the day as a kid, and I loved it, and I like the look of these. But do I like them more than Fans Toys? I like the size, and I really wish that the Fans Toys were that size. But I really, it's just hard to get past that amazing Fans Toys paint job. But if I were to recommend one, if somebody didn't have any, yes, I'd recommend these over the Fans Toys because I like the size and scale and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about these. Are you interested in these? Do you have the first run? If you have the first run, really, there's no reason to get these. If you don't have any, this is definitely a good chance to grab these up for a decent price. Now, I'm going to have a link down below where you can get these at Showzy Store. That's where I got mine. And remember, TH Reviewer code helps me out. Support the reviewer. Anyway, like, subscribe. Put your hanger out.
Everyone has a weakness. Yeah? Well, not Megatron. We shall see. Someday I'll be giving the orders, Rumble. You'll do what I say. Look, Starscream. Megatron is strong. He's merciless. He can't be beaten. And you'll never be our leader. I will find a way.